when the Jewish historians make a quote like, "Strictly speaking, it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew, or to call a contemporary Jew a Israelite or a Hebrew." So the Jewish people, according to the Jewish Almanac, are not Hebrews or Israelites? Maybe Reform Apologetics need to go to Tel Aviv and get all this straightened out, because they must not be privy to this information. Ram also acts like Arthur Kessler is some fringe self-hating Jew whose book, The 13th Tribe, is the only research of that ilk. What about other Jewish researchers like Shlomo Sands in his book, The Invention of the Jewish People? Or Dr. Aaron Elhike, a Jewish geneticist whose study in 2012 concluded European Jews derived from the Caucasus and Mesopotamian populations, and that the evidence of a Jewish genome was lacking. Then there's Paul Wexler, a Israeli linguist, who concluded in his two books, The Non-Jewish Origins of the Sephardic Jews and The Ashkenazic Jews, a Slavo-Turkic people in search of a Jewish identity, that the Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews were descendants of Iranian, Turkic, Slavic, and Berber proselytes. Also, Professor Martin Richards of the Archaeogeneticist Research Group of the University of Huddersfield concluded that Ashkenazi DNA stems from Europe and not Israel. So as we see, the Jewish people by their own admission are not the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
I want to discuss a little bit of sensitive history. And if I go to sensitive history, well, then I must quote sources that say it rather than that I say it. This is a fascinating book, and the web pages are there. You can check it out. Facts are facts. This is a book that was written by a Jewish man. And he confronted the thinking of many of the high-placed individuals of the world. This is interesting stuff. In this book, Benjamin H. Friedman, a Jewish man, writes about the Jews and reveals an interesting history. He states that the present Jews in Palestine are not the true descendants of the Judeans, but rather descendants of the Khazars. In the letter addressed to D. David Goldstein of Boston, Massachusetts, a convert to Catholicism, the author, Benjamin Friedman of New York City, dated October 1954, provides some fascinating insights. This is in the public domain. Let's study this for a while and see where we get. Benjamin H. Friedman claims that the word Jew was only introduced into the English language in the 18th century, and that Jesus referred to himself as a Judean and not as a Jew. Inscribed upon the cross when Jesus was crucified were the Latin words Iesus Nazarenus Rex Iodeorum, which means Jesus of Nazareth, ruler of the Judeans. Now this is fascinating. I went and checked it, and it is so. Yes, it happens to be so. Now the word Jew today has a religious as well as a political connotation. You think of a Jewish entity, a government, but you also think of their religion incorporated at the same time, whereas the term Judean is a geographic connotation. It's a geographic. It doesn't incorporate the religion. It's where he came from. He was from Judah. He was a Judean.
They call themselves the Jews, which is supposedly short for Judah. Okay, I'll play along. This nation of Judah, according to Ram, was supposedly regathered in 1948. Cool. So if that's the case, answer me a couple questions. Number one, where is Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Joseph, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher? Heck, I'll give you Gad. Where's the rest? See, I agree with Ram that the 12-tribe chart is ludicrous. The only tribe we know for sure is Judah. But it's not the Negro who supposedly regathered. It's the fake Jews. So Ram, according to scripture, the burden of proof is on the fake Jews, because it's not just Judah that will be regathered according to scripture, but Israel and Judah. Jeremiah 30:3. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord. And I will cause them to return into the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. So if they are regathered, all 12 northern and southern kingdoms are supposed to be together as one nation again. So how could they have a nation of one tribe? Number two,